Whenever you're ready, just tell me.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
Good.
hmm
I'm glad you're here, Dana. I'm
Yay.
gonna do a fun show today.
That's right. Yeah, it's all about Mother
Yes.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. In lieu of Mother's Day coming up for the United States, Canada, and also Australia, I think the UK, you guys already had your Mother's Day, but that is, this weekend, the 12th, we are talking about Mother Earth. And what better way to move into this weekend with talking about Mother Earth? The first big question I had for you, honey, was Mother Earth versus the moon. And you have a lot of videos about this in your hidden history. So
Mhm.
please go to those videos on your own. They're all in the playlist. You just have to look up moon in the title, but a lot of extra information, but just a summary of what the truth is about the moon versus Mother Earth.
So the moon that we've been seeing is not a real planet, as you would say. Like it's a luminary. It's got one side, and it's kind of like the Truman Show. So if you can't understand what I'm saying, like go watch that movie. But it's basically like a flat light bulb. Okay. So the moon that we see in the sky that we pay attention to is a luminary. And the attention that we should be paying to Mother Earth was taken away from Mother Earth when all of this moon stuff got created. Because the moon has been put on a cycle to match women, and they didn't want women with all the power and the beautiful knowledge that they had to be focused on Earth anymore. They wanted to put that focus away from Earth and up towards the moon. So, really, those cycles are Earth cycles. And Earth is a female. Earth is a feminine energy, and she's a mother. So, she's the one that I would focus on versus the moon.
Absolutely. And speaking of Mother Earth, Earth Day is April 22nd. So are they telling us that that's Mother Earth's birthday if she has a birthday?
No, it was something else. Again, it was something else. It's probably when they took it away,
Mm,
when they took the knowledge away. And when they said, this is what you need to be focused on, the moon versus the earth.
okay.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tagging that day, just like April 1st, is really, that New Year's, but making that day.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay. So the sign Taurus in astrology, it's currently has a ruler of Venus. And then Libra also has Venus. So they share a ruling planet from an astrology perspective. Is the ruling planet of Taurus really supposed to be Mother Earth?
Oh, that's a good question. I get yes, actually. It's a very earthy sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really intuitive.
Thank
Hmm.
you. As I've dabbled in astrology, I get like hits of that all the time. And I'm glad we can confirm that today. In one of your recent posts on May 4th of this year, 2024, you shared a post about the tides. And it said that at the center of the North Pole is a whirlpool where four rivers breathe in and out every 6 hours. This is the reason for the tides. So I'd love to discuss that right now.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the tides come from Mother Earth. So that's the blood of the earth. And the oil is the lymphatic system of the earth.
Mhm.
So is that true, what was said in that video? I get yes. There is other things involved. And that feels like it was a setup.
There's a little freeze on my end. Let's see if this ameliorates itself. Looks like we're still frozen on my end. I'm not sure if you're frozen too. we'll just hang tight. Not sure where the, oh, okay.
I wonder if it's gonna last.
Ah,
We'll have to see. It feels like it was my internet. So I
okay.
just kept talking, but um so I feel like that was created.
Mhm,
So that little spot where all those tides are coming out of, that is some kind of a vortex that was created for this area
mhm.
because the waters are not as volatile as that normally.
Interesting. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The flow of the tides and for it to actually breathe in and out, it's that makes a lot of sense that there's a source for that. So we're going to go through the phases of the
Yeah.
moon, which is really the phase of the sun that you talked about in one of your prior videos. But you know, the new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, or the balsamic moon. I'm just going to read a little bit of each one, and then as a collective, we can look at the whole thing and see what's really happening in all of those phases. And this is a 28-day
Okay.
phase of the moon cycle, which we're calling it the moon cycle now, but what really is it? So the new moon, it's a new cycle, lining up your goals, getting organized, perfect for setting intentions, breathing in what we want to manifest and calling into the world, visualizing your goals and making even a vision board or journaling. And you talked about this recently with Kelly, the astrologer. So please go back to that video because that was excellent. Then the next phase is the waxing crescent, and that's just a sliver of the moon. It offers a boost of energy when we need to turn up our plans into reality. Then you have the first quarter moon, when we begin taking action on our plans, making decisions, you know, adding, editing, changing our plans. Waxing gibbous, and that's Gibbous. It's refine and clarify our ideas, assessing situations, and discussing our feelings. And then we have the full moon. So the full moon, definitely a climax. It's a time to release and cease, quit habits, leave bad situations behind, and focus on healing. And as you said in many other videos, and I hear this from my sister and my mom, they're both nurses in the hospital. Many babies are born on the full moon. The hospital ER is completely full, lots of erratic energy, and the menstrual cycle does sync up during the full moon. So that's interesting. The waning gibbous is right after the full moon. The moon begins to dim its light and take a time to take stock and be in appreciation, basically. Then the last quarter, it's half of the moon's light is up. So opposite of the first quarter, you have the last quarter where you're able to clutter clear, get rid of what no longer serves you, cord cutting, bad habits. That can be really effective. And then the waning crescent is also known as the balsamic moon. As the moon loses its light, so do we. So the last lunar phase before a new cycle begins. Therefore, it's time when we should rest, focus, reflect, find peace before starting, you know, a new journey of what's coming our way in the next few days. And then you go back to the new moon, which we just talked about. So I just wanted to really go over all of those phases. Each one of us are born in certain phases like that, and that's considered our emotional aspect. I was born in a balsamic moon, so that's right before the moon turns into a new moon. And all I can think about when I tap into that is just I just feel really grounded. Like astrologers that are
Yeah.
worth salt, when they're around me, they're like, "Oh, I can feel your balsamic moon." It just feels like I'm bringing somebody in and like holding them close to the ground, and you know, being comforted, coddled even. And I don't feel that during the entire cycle of the moon, but I feel it most of the time because I was imprinted with that on my actual birthday. But going over
Mhm.
all of those phases, what do we need to know about what we've been calling the moon phases, and what does Mother Earth or even Sun have to say about this?
Well, they're the Earth phases. So even on the back of a turtle is like a 28-day cycle, 28-day calendar. And women have a 28-day calendar. So we are in the image of Mother Earth, and as far as like the energy, it's interacting with the sun because that is the male, you know, the male to the female interaction that you have going on. But the full moon is it's that time, right? You know, with women when everything gets really intense with the cycle. The Indians, they used to put women in their own teepee for 7 days.
Mhm.
You know, they had their own space because they were too powerful, right? And that's because the full moon is like, that's when the earth has expanded into her power. Like, that's her cycle of power. And with women, that's their cycle of power. And I feel like they're triggered by the earth for that. And the moon is like on a program, like it's on a computer program, basically, some kind of very advanced program. And it is following what the earth is actually doing. So it's
That's
pretty
very
cool.
interesting. It is. It's really
Yeah.
cool. So we are told to charge our crystals, our gemstones in the full moon. So what's really happening when we put them in the moonlight? Do we even need to put them in the moonlight? It's because it's a luminary. Oh, while Honey comes back, hopefully you're hearing me. There are some folks that say to put your crystals on selenite. So selenite helps no matter what time the moon phases run, and also putting them into sea salt to recharge them. Also taking sage and brushing your crystals with sage, that also helps to clear them as well. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we're going to, the show must go on. So we're going to go ahead and talk about crystals now and charging
Yes.
the crystals. So basically, we have been told to put crystals in the full moon. The full moon light will charge your crystals. But what's really happening there?
Yeah. So really you're charging it with the earth energy. Yeah. So if you can put it on the ground, that's actually really good.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
That
And I
makes
put it on a little cloth, maybe, you
mhm.
know,
Yeah, no
but
need,
on the ground is probably best.
good, good. No need to bury them in the ground, just like right there.
No, and go and try and find them later.
Right? Yeah, like a scavenger hunt. Okay, wonderful. So let's go ahead and talk about grounding now. So walking barefoot on grass, dirt, sand, rocks. Just want to confirm that walking on barefoot on concrete, that does nothing or
No, it helps because
okay.
it's connected. Yeah, so it's like walking on a rock.
Mm,
So it's connected to the earth and it's still, I don't think it's quite as strong, but it does still work for grounding.
good to know. Yeah, because I know a
Yeah.
lot of us maybe in cities and especially during
Hmm.
lockdowns, we weren't able to really get out. So to know that you could go barefoot on concrete is it's very good to know. Or hug a tree, you know.
Yeah.
So, grounding in the nervous system. I really want to dive into this. I've been walking barefoot in the grass and the sand for the past like 11 years. I live in Florida, so it's easy for me to do that year round. And grounding, it really helps my nervous system. I started walking an hour a day. I had that time back then without kids. And now it's down to probably 30 seconds each day sometimes. We've had the occasional hurricane here and there, so I couldn't go out that day, but I've been doing this and I realized that no matter whether it's 30 seconds or an hour, it's instant. And if you wanted to talk about that, like what does grounding do to our nervous system?
Well, there you are.
Mhm.
Should I go in the house? What do you think?
We're gonna,
Okay, so I've moved into the house, you guys, because it was too, wasn't working. It's snowing here.
and we continue on.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So we're just talking about grounding. and the nervous system.
Mhm.
So how does grounding help the nervous system, basically?
It helps it almost immediately, but what it does is I want to say negative ions are what comes into the body right away. So you get to calm down. There's a great book called Earthing where people were able to get rid of all kinds of problems with grounding. And they did it in Alaska. So there was this one guy that would go under his house because there was so much snow and lay in the dirt in the winter just so he could get his grounding done because he was that miserable. But there were people that walked again. They hadn't walked before. Like it's an amazing thing.
Is it's
Yeah.
wonderful. And just some of the benefits of grounding: it lowers inflammation, improves sleep, reduces pain, improves blood pressure, reduces anxiety, alleviates fatigue, improves mood, reduces blood viscosity, and reduces oxidative stress. So I think that's pretty interesting. And the ancient shoes. Oh, Honey's frozen again, so just want to make sure she hears my question.
Pixelated. Oh,
Much better.
okay. So we're trying hard, you guys. The internet has crashed multiple times.
This
Okay.
must be a hot topic. I think that's what we're getting from that.
It must be.
So there are pictures of ancient shoes that have magnets on the bottom of the soles. I want to say you shared this on
Mhm.
Telegram as well. Yeah, the shoes. So
Yeah.
instead of rubber on the soles of your shoes, there were magnets. So what were the magnets doing? Why did they do that?
That was grounding. So nowadays you get like copper plugs that go in between, like the outside of the sole and they go through to the inside. Um, that is a method of grounding as well, but I actually feel like the magnets are even more powerful
Wow.
because they had a lot of technology that was quite a bit better than ours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And just a
Yeah.
one-off story about the nervous system. I was teaching my kids how to swim recently. So they're 4 and 5 years old, both boys, and it's been rough. They were very nervous when they got in the water. They would swim, but then they wanted to put their floaties on, and it was just like you need to swim. We live in Florida. You need to swim. Like there's pools everywhere. We're not going to chance it. So I was with them in the pool. It was the second day that I pulled them out of school, or I picked them up early just to go to the pool next to us. And as we were doing a floating exercise in the water, I was holding their shoulders and their feet were out. And something came over me to whisper in their ear, "You are safe. Trust the water." And I did that with both of them.
Mhm.
And right after that, it was instant. They started swimming. And it was just that connection to connecting the water to trusting it and feeling good about it. And that's how easy our subconscious mind can switch, but it needs to happen there. And that is in line with that video that you posted recently about the subconscious mind. So I wanted to bring that up because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Our nervous system needs to feel held, and they feel held. And I mean, they're swimming now like crazy. They jump in the water. Before they were crying. They didn't want us to jump in. They didn't want to jump in. So it's an amazing transformation. And just one other story about the nervous system and how easy it is to manipulate the subconscious mind. So I was in a coffee shop recently and I heard a gentleman talking to his friends. He must have been in his 70s, 80s, and he was talking about watching the movie Jaws a long time ago. And he was so frazzled by it. The next day, he went on a walk, a hike in the mountains, and he was worried that Jaws was going to come out and grab him. I heard that I almost fell on the floor, but I didn't because that would have been weird. But that's how strong these movies have been and to our subconscious mind. Like I really wanted to laugh when I heard
Hmm.
it, but I didn't. But yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. So I think grounding will.
Yeah, because the subconscious thinks everything's real.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, no, that's yeah, I wanted you to comment on that. So now we're going to move into talking about the magnetics, since we just talked about magnets on shoes. So the Earth's magnetic field is also a toroidal field. And is the magnetic field a part of
Mhm.
free energy, or is it only the ether, or is it both?
The ether is part of her magnetic field.
Mhm.
That's what I'm getting. So the ether is like an extension of her energetic field. And you have this massive being in there. And also, if you think about like there's a lovely lady inside of Earth, and she's the one powering everything, but she has a lot of help as well, from all the beings that are here. We're all contributing to Earth and giving power. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, but it is coming from the energetics of Earth. Yeah,
Beautiful. Okay, and
very cool.
very, I
Yep.
love talking about this. I am a Taurus, so confirming that that's my ruling planet around the Earth, it just feels good. So with regards to the Earth moving around the sun, that's what we've been told. Is the magnetism of Earth a part of what we know as gravity? What we're, the whole gravity
Yeah, it's the same thing.
it is. Yeah,
Gravity is not real.
right.
So it's magnetism.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Yep.
just to comment on that, as above, so below, Earth is like the egg in the womb, still very stationary, pulling creation, pulling the seed, pulling the sperm using magnetism. And we're being told it's gravity, but it's not.
Hmm.
As above, so below. That's beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about land magic. That's what I want to call it. So what's the significance
Okay.
of visiting lands in our heritage or our DNA, our genetic line? What would be the benefit of going back to those lands to visit them?
You're able to clear the energy of that land. So the land has many layers of energy because there's been many games that we've played on Earth, many learning games. And a lot of them weren't very good, like they were going sideways. So then they got folded under. So there's all these layers, just like layers of rocks, there's layers of consciousness that's still residue in there. So the things that have happened there, say that there was a battle there and that energy needs to be cleaned up. And sometimes you're releasing a lot of souls too when you go there. So when you're transmuting something that happened on that land, you're doing humanity a great service, really, and Earth as well.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. And is that for parallel lives as well as genetic?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you can help your parallels as well. Hmm.
That's amazing. Because,
Yep.
half of my lineage is Indian from India. My dad's side of the family is from Bombay, Mumbai, that's what it's called now. And his mom's side of the family is from New Delhi. So I feel like if I went to India, I would be clearing a lot. And also, the Indian spices, whenever I eat soursop, which is a fruit from Jamaica, because that's where my parents are
Yeah.
born, I get I feel it. Like I feel something happening in my DNA. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's very interesting. So reconnecting to,
That's really cool.
mhm, yeah, very interesting. Uh,
Hmm.
so let's see. With regards to the Diversity project, so since we're talking about Mother Earth, I just wanted to bring trees into it because trees are a big part of Mother Earth. There's a Diversity project by Claritin, which is the allergy medicine. So more male trees have been planted in cities
Oh,
which produce pollen. So, and you've talked about this before, that there's a lot of male trees. You don't walk around the city and you see a lot of fruit trees. They're dropping fruit on the sidewalk. We just don't see that. So, the female or girl trees absorb the pollen and they reduce the allergies. So they also bear fruit, like I just said. So this project is creating a space to fix pollen issues. And basically, Claritin has, ads running on YouTube saying, plant a tree, plant a female tree, plant a girl tree. So how do we help with this? Do they want us to plant more girl trees? Does Mother Earth want us to plant more girl trees? How does that look?
You would love it if you have land to create like a little orchard that is both.
Mhm.
So that is female and male. I'm getting balance is what she's wanting. And there is no balance in the cities when it comes to the trees. And they did that for two reasons. One of it was to make people allergic, and then the other one was to make the food not available. So that's changing, and I feel like that's a total white hat push.
Mhm.
And when you were saying it, I got that they were told they had to do it.
That's
So
mhm.
they didn't just volunteer to do that project, they were pushed into it. Yeah,
That's right. Because I thought about that and I looked at some of the comments
yeah,
on those videos on YouTube, and everyone was like, oh, this doesn't make sense. And I said, the reason why it doesn't make sense is because Claritin is an allergy medicine. So why are they reducing the allergies in the world? That's going to reduce their profit share. Companies don't think like that, but
yeah,
this makes sense. Yeah, that this is, it was told to them. That's very smart. Okay, very good. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's part of their comeuppance karma.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, reversing the wrong. Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
this part of the discussion is more about how human beings and animals connect to the land. So, we definitely have a relationship with the land, and a lot of that is through our secretions. So, if this is squirmish for you to listen to, I want you to really push through that because this is really important to talk about. And as a mom dealing with bodily fluids, for lack of a better term, after you deal with that and nurses deal with that, you just don't care. You don't care hearing about it. And it's just a part of life. And you start to appreciate parts of our secretion. So I just want to talk about that first. So with regards to the relationship to the discharge created by human beings and animals on the earth, our waste products, they actually become food for Mother Nature. And, let's look at it this way. Manure is an excellent fertilizer. We've always been told that, we've heard that, and we hear it being used in farms. The carbon dioxide that humans breathe out becomes plants and their trees, their food, basically. They breathe in what we are breathing out, our waste, if you will. It's planting the placenta after
Mhm.
childbirth during under a tree. We talked about this in one of our videos on uncovering a lot of the child things. Um, the tree will create a lifelong connection to that human, and they can, the child or the human can sit under the tree as they get older and really connect and get answers from that particular tree because the placenta is buried under there. Also, licking a seed encodes your DNA into the plant or the tree that's grown. So you plant that seed that you licked, and the fruit from that tree knows your DNA, so it connects with you. Another example of this is burying the deceased in a wooden box and in the ground. It's better than cremation. It's not necessarily a Viking burial because I think that's pushing them out to sea and then, well, yeah, the cremation and Viking burial are basically the same thing. So this is a big reason why galactic and then parasites, they see our fluids that run through humans as a commodity. So, it becomes a healing effect for them. I want to be very sensitive when I talk about that. But the reason why it was such a big commodity is because our discharge is very healing, and it's more healing than we know. So basically, seeding the planet, it happens when an animal or a human, they eat the fruit, they digest the seed, and then when they go out in nature and they do their business, the seed is planted into nature. And this is a way of spreading the seed on the land, basically. So Mother Earth is welcoming to
Mhm.
this. So what's your take on this symbiotic relationship and any other insights you have?
Well, it's part of the intelligent design that is Earth. And if you think about it, we have an herb for every illness. We have, all kinds of things that help us and are there for us. The food, if we're eating more natural food, then we're tremendously more healthy. If we go back to eating the way we did, like in the I don't know, 40s, probably the 50s, they started to introduce margarine and stuff.
Mhm.
But if you are doing that kind of thing, and being more natural just in general, you're going to be healthier. And so is the earth. The earth is going to be healthier. So if we're not using plastics that have been altered and, different things, and I don't actually get that it takes quite as long as we've been getting for those to dissolve, as they say,
Mhm.
but they're still not good for Mother Earth. And it's better to have something that will biodegrade much faster. So, really, just being symbiotic with Earth is important. And I grew up with an outhouse, you know, and honestly, it is not the most fun place to be, especially in the wintertime, but it is cleaner for the environment. So it is something that's actually cleaner for the earth than kind of spreading everything out by dissolving it in water and letting it just,
Mhm.
So thinking about that is important too. And I think that other methods will be brought to the surface for all the stuff that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think in one of your hidden history videos, you saw that Tartarians didn't necessarily have plumbing around, and it was what are they doing? Like maybe they are using the camping version of going using the restroom, or not the opposite of a replicator, something that
They
just
were using it. Yeah.
yeah.
They had learned how to deal with it in different ways.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it was better for the earth too.
Yeah. Mhm. Very
Mhm.
interesting. Okay. So before we tap back into
Yeah.
the Earth conversation, I just want to bring up some more research that I did with regards to big and then pharma companies, how important the bodily discharge is. Basically, they were collecting urine from nuns, and the V Church in Rome, trying to make this light, and also from pregnant horses. And this was creating Premarin, which is a product that they sell. It's an estrogen enhancer, and I think they're still doing that. So, to collect something and make a product and sell it, very interesting. Also, folate stimulating hormone (FSH) and luteinizing hormone (LH). They have been extracted from urine to create pills that assist in ovulation, which is a treatment for infertility. So, urine has stem cells, and also your moon juice is also rich in stem cells, and it could be a fertilizer. I know that grosses people out, but I mean, I'm here to really push you to think about these things and accept the female body on all fronts. And that's like my divine purpose on this planet. And that's why, I do a lot with the fertility and childbirth aspects of life. And also Arizona Wilder, which she was interviewed by David ICKE. She also said that the galactic parasites can live off of our moon juice. So I'm just telling you, it's important, and it's a part of the secrets of this planet. And I'm going to stop there, but I think it's important. Okay. So let's go back to the sun and how the sun connects with the Mother Earth. So the sun works with the earth as a divine masculine, works with the divine feminine. So above, as above, so below, like we've talked about. And what else do we need to know about the relationship of the sun and Mother Earth?
Well, so I would say the sun that we see every day is more of a simulator. It's a simulated sun at this point, and it was always a simulated sun, but now we have a stronger one. People have seen the honeycomb pattern in this sun, and that's part of the awakening process. The sun that I would be focused on as far as Mother Earth goes is the sun that we can't see because we are still not seeing everything. Just like when the Spanish invaded in Mexico, I think it was, the conquistadors, the natives didn't recognize that there was actually a boat in the sea. They couldn't tell what that was. They didn't even recognize it, and they didn't even acknowledge that it was there because they'd never seen it before. So we are doing that all the time. And some people are seeing like 3 to 4 suns in the sky at once. And, some of them are dimmer than others. And right now, I think we have around 11 suns around us, and they're all different frequencies. And they're here to charge, like they charge each other. And if you think about the male aspect, it's here to give to the female aspect. So the sun is giving to the earth. And we have several of them around us right now, and they're multiple frequencies. So if you know that, then maybe it will become easier to see them.
That's fascinating. 11 is a lot. I thought it was under five. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it's increased.
Mhm.
So, and remember that we are in a construct, so it changes too. Like if, let's say we didn't need the green sun anymore, let's say there's a green one, and then maybe it would go because we didn't need that frequency anymore. But we still need it, I'm being told. So still have a green one right now.
We'll take all 11 then. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So as we ascend into the fifth dimension, are we still going to call Earth Earth, or is it going to be Terra or Gaia? What do you see there?
I think it'll be called a version of Terra,
Mhm.
but it won't be the same. Like there'll be a word in front of it. It's what it feels like. And I don't think we know what it is yet. We haven't, it's in another language. It feels like it's kind of a galactic language
Yeah.
because Terra is for terrarium or terra firma, we are in a terrarium and the firmament is like a jello-y type substance that's thick and it's made of plasma. And that's space. Space is thick. Space is not empty. So that's why if you look at a UFO, a lot of them are shaped very much like a disc that can get through that. And I don't think they travel through that most of the time. Most of the time they go through portals.
Very interesting.
Yep.
So during the harmonic convergence in 1987, that's what it's been called, there was a mass meditation on the planet which propelled Mother Earth over 51%. Most people call it a light quotient, and therefore permanently establishing a trajectory for Earth ascension into the timeline of the 5D. So will we experience anything
Yep.
similar to that for Mother Earth before 2030 or before the Golden Age? Do we need it? Or are we doing it now?
We're doing it now. Yeah. Um, all of these solar events, this is like the solar flash drug out over time.
Mhm.
And we're in that right now. And they say that in 1988, I believe it was, that everything switched. And that was the product of it didn't look like we were going in the right direction.
Mhm.
So that was to do with God source and the big architect souls. They switched the timeline. So we're on a group timeline for Ascension, and we're in the middle of Ascension now. So
Wow.
yeah,
Beautiful. So
it's
before,
happening.
yeah, we're finally finally doing it. Before we go
Yeah.
on with the, a special message from Mother Earth, I just have a real quick one-off question about Mother Earth's sister planet, which is Venus. There's disclosure that Venusian females, they visited Earth, and it said that they were a
Mhm.
raspberry beret. And did the artist formerly known as Prince meet one of these and write a song about it?
Yes.
Yes.
I get totally yes on that. Yeah.
Love it. It
That's
was
so fun.
so fun. I heard it in one of Laura Eisenhower's videos, and I have to ask about this. Lovely. And basically, with regards to Venus, it's invitation only to go there. It's in a different, vibration dimension. And so
Yeah.
Was Prince invited to Venus?
I believe he was. And I think after he kind of checked out, we'll say, um, I feel like he was able to do it.
Mhm. Love it.
So, and I don't think he's physically not existing anymore. Like, I think he still exists physically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So
fun.
he had quite an experience.
Wow. That's amazing. That's like a
Yeah.
whole other video. I've been going to my magical forest on the way home from dropping the kids off, and I'm listening to his song Seven, all seven, and watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling all seven have fallen, but I mean, yeah, very cool. Love Prince. Okay.
Very cool.
Mm. And we're both wearing like raspberry colors today.
Nice.
We didn't plan this, you guys. It was beautiful.
Yeah, no, we didn't. It was so funny.
Love it. So, when I tap into Mother Earth and I go earthing and, I just connect, I get that Mother Earth is everyone's mother. Like that's what I get. Humanity, animals, plants, the water, the fire, the elemental kingdom, the dragons. She is everyone's mother. So, as we wrap this up, any special message from Mother Earth to humanity, and especially on this special weekend of Mother's Day?
So she really wants to say to trust her and that we have this, we can do this together, and to let go of any of the strings that are holding you to the past because she's ready to go forward. And I get the word surge forward. So she's really ready for change. And you can see it in the weather because a lot of that is not to do with the white hats. A lot of that is to do with Mother Earth. She is doing massive changing and balancing of the systems, of her systems right now. And my cat's freaking out. But she really would like us to trust her and to spend time with her right now because she's ready for us to go forward. And think about if there's anything inside of you that's holding it back because we have huge power ourselves. And sometimes we're, even if, like if you need to know all of the information about what it's going to look like in the future, then you're not trusting. So you're not feeling like, okay, I'm going to be absolutely fine and it's just going to show up in this magical way. You're feeling like you need to know what it looks like. So let go, let her take care of you, and let God Source take care of all of us as we go through this change that's coming. And, we're basically taking the training wheels off. We're about to fly down the road, into something new. So she's asking that we help her with that.
Mhm. I love that. Oh,
Yeah,
so I just want to go earthing right now. I probably will after this video.
I know.
Yay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
yeah.
honey. This was fantastic.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
This was beautiful. And thank you so much. And thanks for sticking with the video and all
Absolutely.
the dropped internet.
Yeah. It felt like
Yes.
it felt like,
Yeah.
just hanging out with my kids, just like a lot of different things going on. Just I'm just
Yes.
yeah. But yes,
Yes. So good.
so good. Yes. And we'll definitely get this video up before or on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you
Yeah,
beautiful mamas, fur mamas, mamas to be, all of you, and yeah, auntie mamas, because we have some of those out there. And you're loved, you're cherished, and Mother Earth absolutely loves all of us. So this is beautiful.
absolutely. I love it. And I'm going to be traveling. So I'm going to be in California next week, and I would love to see people. So I'll put the link to that below. But we will probably be sitting around and having our shoes off while we have this talk that we're going to be doing. So I'm just excited for everything. And I really do feel like we're going to go forward and flow, and it's going to be just more magical than we can imagine because we haven't seen this stuff before.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful time to be here. Yeah. So I better let the cat out because he's flipping out. But
Yeah.
all right. Thank you so much, Dina.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.